When you reach your mid-30s, every financial decision becomes a silent compromise. Do you sacrifice living space to chase high-velocity career opportunities in the city? Or do you trade job mobility for suburban peace and quiet? Neither path is wrong, but both carry hidden bills. Which trade-off are you currently paying for? For Mark, staying in the megacity means stepping directly into the stream of opportunity. Walking through the glass doors of his downtown financial district office, the energy is palpable. His base salary of $115,000 feels like validation for years of hard work, placing him right at the center of innovation. When Mark's monthly paycheck hits his account, roughly $7,200 after taxes and health insurance, there's a genuine sense of pride. He works as a senior project manager, earning a solid middle-class living in one of the most competitive markets in the world. The corporate title brings prestige and professional respect. On weekends, the city becomes an open classroom for Mark's young child. They walk 5 minutes to world-class art museums, science centers, and historic parks. Mark loves that his child grows up surrounded by global architecture, diverse cultures, and endless intellectual stimulation right outside their front door. The greatest unwritten perk of city life is proximity to talent. Over a quick afternoon espresso with a former colleague, Mark casually learns about an unlisted senior lead position opening at a rival firm, a lateral move that could boost his income by 15% without relocating his family. Dinner options are endless. On Friday nights, Mark's family strolls down their street to a lively neighborhood bistro. They don't need a car, parking fees, or long highway drives. The sheer convenience of urban infrastructure makes daily life vibrant and interconnected with the local community. Meanwhile, 300 miles away, David begins his morning in a quiet suburban subdivision. For $88,000 a year working as a senior data analyst, David chose a different path, moving to a lower-cost region where his dollar stretches twice as far, trading city buzz for spacious tranquility. David reviews his monthly mortgage breakdown with quiet confidence. His fixed payment of $1,650 for a 2,400 square foot home represents under 29% of net income, a classic low overhead anchor. Every month, nearly $600 automatically converts into forced savings through principal reduction, quietly compounding his net worth while locking out urban rent inflation. In the afternoon, David watches his child run freely in their private backyard, kicking a soccer ball across real grass. There are no cramped elevators or busy street traffic to worry about. For David, providing physical space and outdoor safety was the primary goal of relocating. Financial breathing room changes your psychological baseline. At the end of every month after paying all fixed bills, David routinely sees over $2,200 remaining in his checking account. He automatically routes the excess into a high-yield savings account, earning 4.5% interest, steadily compounding his safety net. But every choice carries a hidden invoice, and Mark's city bill arrives monthly in his bank account. Rent for his modest two-bedroom apartment costs $3,200, taking a massive 44% chunk out of his net income. He is officially cost-burdened, paying premium prices for minimal square footage. Then comes childcare. Licensed infant and toddler care in the megacity costs Mark an astonishing $2,100 per month. Combined with rent, housing, and childcare alone, devour over 73% of his take-home pay before buying groceries or paying utilities. Mark is trapped in a classic high-earner liquidity crunch. The daily commute adds physical friction. Standing on a packed, delayed subway train after a 10-hour workday, Mark feels the subtle drain of urban fatigue. The noise density and constant rushing erode his energy, turning simple daily logistics into endurance tests. The most terrifying reality for Mark is his liquid cash cushion. Because fixed costs eat almost everything, his high-yield savings account hovers at just $10,000. Barely 6 weeks of living expenses. Despite earning six figures, Mark lives just one major emergency away from financial crisis. Space constraints create daily friction at home. Mark's 5-year-old child shares a small room packed with clothes and toys. Mark dreams of giving his child a play area, but upgrading to a 3-bedroom apartment in his school district would demand another $1,400 a month he simply doesn't have. Meanwhile, David faces his own set of hidden cons in the suburbs. Geographic spread turns car dependency into a tax on his time. Every single errand, groceries, doctors, hardware stores, requires driving 30 to 45 minutes on congested highways, spending hours behind the wheel weekly. Career stagnation is the silent cost of lower-cost regions. David receives his standard 3% annual merit raise, but local job openings in his specialized field are practically non-existent. Without major corporate headquarters nearby, his local earning potential has hit a firm ceiling early in his career. Being remote creates invisible career walls. When a key regional manager promotion opens at corporate headquarters, the position goes to an in-office city colleague. David realizes that out of sight means out of mind when executive decisions are made in closed city boardrooms. A subtle wave of FOMO hits David while scrolling social media late at night. Seeing former classmates attend major industry summits, cultural galas, and high-level networking events in the city, he wonders if moving away traded professional ambition for comfortable complacency. Have you ever felt this career isolation? Infrastructure limitations also touch his family life. The local suburban library and youth centers are small and underfunded compared to city hubs. Specialized sports programs or advanced tutoring require driving 2 towns over, proving that lower tax bases mean fewer public amenities. Yet, amidst high expenses, Mark builds deep emotional resilience in the city. The small footprint of their apartment forces his family into constant physical proximity. They share meals at a small table, talk constantly, and build a tight-knit family bond that larger, spread-out houses rarely demand. Mark's child develops rich social adaptiveness. Playing daily at neighborhood public parks alongside children of diverse ethnicities, languages, and backgrounds, his child learns empathy and global open-mindedness naturally, an invaluable social education that money cannot easily buy. Financial efficiency comes in unexpected ways. By relying entirely on public transit and walking, Mark avoids car payments, auto insurance, gas, and parking costs, saving over $9,000 annually compared to suburban car ownership. He redirects every saved penny into his child's college fund. Proximity brings work flexibility. Because Mark lives 20 minutes from his office, he can drop his child off at school in the morning, commute easily, and return home in time for early evening activities, eliminating hours of wasted highway travel time. The intellectual environment keeps Mark sharp. Working alongside top industry talent in a competitive city ecosystem forces him to continuously upgrade his skills, ensuring his resume remains highly competitive even during macroeconomic shifts. In the suburbs, David builds a strong foundation of community leadership. With more free time and lower stress, he volunteers to coach his child's weekend soccer team, forming deep bonds with local families and grounding his life in meaningful local relationships. Homeownership brings tangible pride. Spending Saturday morning repairing his backyard fence or planting a garden gives David a sense of physical ownership and permanence. His monthly mortgage payments are actively constructing a tangible asset for his family's long-term future. Liquidity creates psychological tranquility. Watching his high-yield savings account surpass $25,000, a full 6 months of total living expenses, David experiences zero anxiety about unexpected car repairs or home maintenance. He has bought true financial insurance. Quiet suburban evenings become a shared sanctuary for David's family. Sitting together on their spacious porch under a clear, star-filled sky free from city smog and sirens, they unwind in peaceful tranquility. This low-noise environment lowers daily stress hormones and deepens family connection naturally. Lower living costs give David's family schedule flexibility. Because his mortgage is manageable on one income, his spouse has the freedom to work part-time, allowing one parent to always be home when their child finishes the school day. But macroeconomic reality spares no one. A sudden surge in national inflation combined with aggressive corporate restructuring triggers widespread industry layoffs. Both Mark in the megacity and David in the suburbs are abruptly forced to confront the hidden vulnerabilities of their chosen paths, realizing that no lifestyle is immune to economic winter. Mark's blind spot is exposed immediately: extreme overhead vulnerability. Standing in his office as adjacent desks are cleared out, Mark realizes his $5,300 monthly fixed burn rate for rent and daycare leaves absolutely zero margin for error if his position is eliminated. The math is unforgiving. With only $10,000 in liquid savings, losing his job would mean total financial depletion in under 60 days. The terrifying pressure of city rent turns every corporate email into a potential threat to his family's basic housing security. To make himself indispensable, Mark takes on double the workload. He works 70 hours a week, arriving before sunrise and leaving long after dark. The immediate casualty is his family life. He misses his child's bedtime story 4 nights in a row. Chronic stress takes a physical toll. Mark experiences tension headaches and insomnia, staring at his cramped apartment ceiling at 3 a.m. The city he loved now feels like a high-priced pressure cooker, demanding his health in exchange for survival. Meanwhile, David's blind spot hits from a completely unexpected direction: specialized service scarcity. His 5-year-old child develops a complex speech delay and sensory processing condition that requires immediate, highly specialized pediatric therapy. David discovers the regional reality. The local Suburban clinic has a 9-month waiting list for specialized pediatric therapists. The smaller tax base and geographic isolation mean top healthcare specialists simply do not practice in his quiet town. The only available specialized medical center is located back in the megacity, a 3-hour drive each way through heavy highway traffic. David's choice to escape the city suddenly forces him into grueling weekly medical commutes to get his child basic care. David confronts the harsh reality of illiquid assets. His home equity has grown by $40,000 on paper, but he cannot pay for immediate private therapy or travel expenses with bricks and mortar. Wealth locked in housing offers zero immediate help in a medical crisis. The guilt of geography weighs heavily on David. Looking at his child playing in the large yard, he asks himself a painful question. Did saving money on housing cost his child 6 critical months of early developmental care? Have you ever questioned a major life relocation? Financial pressures intensify for Mark in the megacity. As inflation pushes grocery bills up by 15%, his remaining monthly margin shrinks to near zero. He finds himself checking his banking app before buying simple household items, feeling financially suffocated. Marital strain begins to surface. In their compact living room, Mark and his wife have tense, whispered arguments after their child falls asleep, debating whether staying in the city for career potential is worth living in perpetual financial survival mode. The physical clutter of small space exaggerates mental fatigue. Strollers, winter coats, and child toys overflow their tiny entry hallway. Mark feels trapped inside a high-priced box, paying $3,200 a month to feel constantly overcrowded in his own home. Mark is forced to decline a family weekend reunion trip because the $500 travel and hotel overhead would wipe out his remaining monthly cash buffer. The city has turned him into a high-income worker who cannot afford basic leisure flexibility. Mark realizes the psychological cruelty of the urban liquidity trap. Society views his $115,000 salary as successful, but his high fixed expenses leave him poorer in liquid flexibility than many workers earning half his salary in low-cost towns. For David, pressure takes the form of physical exhaustion. Every Tuesday, he wakes up at 4:30 a.m. to drive 3 hours into the megacity for his child's specialized therapy session, navigating dense highway rush hour traffic before logging into work remotely. City costs bite David anyway. Parking at the downtown medical center costs $45 per visit, plus $60 in highway tolls and gas per trip. Over a month, his cheap suburban lifestyle acquires an unexpected $600 medical transit tax. Workplace friction mounts for David. Missing morning meetings due to long highway medical commutes causes his team manager to question his commitment, adding job performance anxiety on top of family health stress. The peaceful suburban home no longer feels like a sanctuary. Returning home late on Tuesday evenings after 6 total hours of highway driving, David gently carries his sleeping child inside from the car. Escaping the megacity didn't escape life's heavy physical and emotional logistics. Looking out his quiet bedroom window at the dark trees, David feels the full weight of his geographical trade-off. He bought space and low housing costs, but sacrificed immediate access to specialized infrastructure when his family needed it most. Emotional breaking points hit both men. Late one evening, Mark stands in his child's tiny bedroom, watching his child sleep under the faint light of city street lamps. Quiet tears well in his eyes as a wave of parental guilt washes over him. High income no longer guarantees quality of life. Sitting in his dark kitchen late at night, Mark faces the quiet paradox of his career. Earning 6 figures means little when daily fatigue steals the very family moments he works to provide. The cumulative toll of stress becomes visible in daily routines. Getting ready for work the next morning, Mark, buttoning his shirt before the mirror, pauses for a long moment, confronting how completely his former professional ambition has morphed into pure survival endurance. Shame surfaces when Mark compares his life to suburban peers online. Seeing photos of large yards and spacious playrooms, he feels like he failed to provide basic spatial comfort for his family, despite working 70 hours a week in a high-prestige role. Mark confronts the core question of behavioral finance. Am I working to build a meaningful life for my family? Or am I working simply to pay rent in a concrete jungle? Which trap are you currently trying to break out of? The isolation of suburban space suddenly feels cold. In the city, neighbors were inches away. Out here, large yards create physical distance. When crisis hits, David realizes that privacy can easily morph into lonely isolation if you don't actively build support networks. Looking at his lush green lawn on Sunday morning, David feels no satisfaction. The physical space he sacrificed career growth to acquire feels hollow when his mind is consumed with medical scheduling, long drives, and developmental worries. David asks himself the mirror question: did I buy true freedom and peace of mind by moving here? Or did I simply exchange high city financial overhead for high suburban logistical overhead? Growth begins when both men stop romanticizing their choices and start actively managing their trade-offs. Mark and his wife sit down on a Sunday afternoon with a fresh financial ledger, determined to break their high burn rate urban survival cycle. Mark makes a hard structural change, downsizing expectations within the city. He moves his family to a slightly older, modest apartment in an outer borough near a public park, cutting his monthly rent from $3,200 down to $2,400 immediately. Mark sets firm professional boundaries. He informs his corporate manager that he will log off at 5:30 p.m. daily. He stops trying to prove total availability, realizing that keeping his health and being present for family dinner matters far more than corporate optics. With $800 saved monthly on rent, Mark aggressively builds his liquid cash cushion. Within 10 months, his high-yield savings account reaches $18,000, giving his family true financial breathing room and neutralizing his layoff panic completely. Mark realizes that living in a megacity doesn't require living in financial chaos. By controlling fixed costs, rejecting lifestyle creep, and embracing outer borough living, he keeps the city's career and cultural advantages while eliminating its destructive financial stress. David also restructures his approach to suburban trade-offs. Instead of suffering through grueling weekly 6-hour round-trip drives, he uses his abundant suburban savings buffer to solve the logistical crisis strategically. Leveraging his $25,000 emergency fund, David rents a small furnished studio apartment near the city medical center for 2 months. His wife and child stay comfortably near the clinic during intensive therapy, completely eliminating chaotic highway commuting. David recognizes the true value of his financial path. His low suburban mortgage and disciplined savings were not meant to prevent crises, but to provide the exact liquid cash reserves needed to fund solutions when life presented unexpected challenges. David communicates openly with his remote employer about his caregiving schedule. To his surprise, his transparency is met with professional support, allowing him to adjust work hours without risking his position or safety. Both men reach an identical maturity. True financial resilience is not about finding a flawless geographic location. It is about aligning your fixed costs with your values, maintaining liquid reserves, and accepting the trade-offs of your chosen path without resentment. Every choice in life comes with a hidden bill. Staying in the megacity buys high career velocity and rich cultural access at the cost of high fixed overhead and dense stress. Moving to the suburbs buys space, home equity, and low burn rates at the cost of career ceilings and geographic distance from specialized infrastructure. Looking at your current life and bank account today, which trade-off are you paying for? Are you sacrificing spatial freedom to stay near the action, or sacrificing velocity to secure your peace of mind? Share your story and thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.